Welcome to Secure Management Faculties, where your mind is key before you unlock what is seen. Secure Agent Dreyfuse. Welcome back to the podcast playlist. It's been a while since I made an upload here, but we'll be getting straight into performing authentic service. And as usual, below, as a free addition for a standard for the channel, go down below, sell your gun tab, fill out the paperwork, get that extra currency. Let's move this along. Instead of, like I said before, on this playlist, I usually provide an audio clip. This time the clip, or rather the audio in place of the audio clip, I will simulate it just to move along. I did not find a sufficient audio clip to project this, but as I'm going along with the topic, you'll be able to understand exactly what it is that I mean in conjunction with the topic. So what is performing authentic service, right? Performing authentic service. This is a sensitive topic because it can be taken either way, right? When you perform an authentic service, are you truly performing in service to the actual rationale to the situation? And secondary, are you performing that service out of your true respected ideals? The reason why I say that comes second, because if you're working at a workplace, if you're working on a specific thing that needs a factual grounding effect of a specific response of rational things objectively, you're going to have to put yourself on the back burner because the situation is king over that. And usually if you have the luxury to perform and look for these things in life, to be in alignment with your work, all those things usually come together. So anyway, I'm just going to simulate and place the audio clip of what I mean by performing in slavery outside of authentic for service. And then I'll explain shortly what it means to perform in authentic service. Starting now. Joshua. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Did you put in that paperwork? Yeah, I put the paperwork in, sir. I put the paperwork in, sir. You ain't put that paperwork in. I put the paperwork in, sir. Ending audio simulation. If you've seen through that simulation of what I was doing, the person was completely dragged out of place due to the response of authority because of the fact that that person or thing is representative of that specific situation, task, or position. And regardless of what people would like you to believe, that is not performing conducively to reinforcing forces to articulatively develop as a whole. All positions need to be able to communicate from a place and perspective of authenticity for the work objectively first, and obviously the ideal second, in order to perform a living conscious response to situations rather than a programmed response of insecurity articulation. We all know of a person that was dedicated in the bowels of being good, but that bowels of being good, or the capacity to follow direction, becomes that yes man that everybody needs to put their emotional baggage on in a place of objective authority and in personal space. Now, even though the person means well to do better by command, that doesn't make the person better. That just makes the person subject to not only discarding their ideals or beliefs, but discarding the performance to objectivity of what it requires to perform a job, task, or even just simple transparent work effect that needs them to be able to develop simple work in its most primary objection, or should I say projection. At the end of the day, the lesson is short here. If you want to perform authentically in your service, right? Some people choose the latter, because if you give people what they want, essentially, you can sort of weasel your way in, right? To giving people what they want in projection so they can like you. But that will ultimately betray your soul in a sense long term. And what will happen is you would have sacrificed yourself in context to the objective play of feeding oneself to that superficial reality of providing a face that everybody wants to see. Alright, secure management faculties where your mind is key before you unlock what is seen. Secure Agent Dreyfus. I appreciate everyone for viewing this content, for viewing this podcast playlist. I'll be jumping on here with more simulated and audio clips. If I do not have simulated, is correction. If I do not have audio clips, I will be simulating them myself. Of course, I feel like actually more could have been put into performing authentically for this upload, but I think that everyone understands to perform authentically as a closing thing again, it's just about being true to the objective at hand. And then if you've chosen correctly and you've been honest with yourself, I don't know what your situation is, those things usually will align with your work ethic and align with your workplace as in where you are. At the end of the day, just understand performing authentically will be a strenuous walk uphill, if you will. Because when you perform authentically, you are standing in truth. You're not standing by falsism, if you will. You're not standing by the preference of how people want things to be done, but you're standing in the preference of how things should be done. Alright, once again, click below. If you want the extra currency, set the firearm out. Sell your guns tab. As usual, thank you. Appreciate it. See you on the next upload.